Hello, welcome to Basics of MLA Citation, a tutorial for Coppin State University. Let's get started. What we'll cover in this presentation is the basics. What is the MLA? What is MLA citation? Why do we cite sources? The two types of sources in MLA, works cited and in-text citation. The works cited format for books, journal articles, electronic sources and films, and then in-text citation format. So our first question, what is the MLA? MLA is the acronym for the Modern Language Association. MLA is a professional association for scholars and academics who study English, literature, and other language-related disciplines. Professional associations like the MLA, the APA, American Psychological Association, the AMA, American Medical Association, are associations that help professions develop. They develop best practices and standards, they help build communities and support, and they facilitate communications between people in the profession. As part of the MLA's mission to set standards and practices for the profession of the study of language, MLA establishes standards in the following areas. First, the document and manuscript format. MLA sets standards for what documents look like, margins, fonts, identifying information, page headers, etc., which makes communication between scholars and between students and teachers more efficient. We'll cover that in another video. This presentation is about the citation and research practices aspect of MLA. MLA establishes criteria for how to document research sources. This is MLA citation style. Why do we cite? Well, we cite first and foremost to tell our audience that we are using materials that did not originate with us, to differentiate between our ideas and the ideas that we're drawing upon. This also shows our mastery of a conversation in which we are participating. We also work to give credit to others for what they have said or written, which avoids plagiarism. And lastly, this facilitates sharing information between people in the conversation or academic debate. Two types of citation in MLA style. We work with the MLA Works Cited citation, which enables readers to find specific copies of text that other researchers and writers use for or reference in their work. It facilitates checking and information of provided information, quotes, facts, etc., and it facilitates the duplication of work. Examining the same research materials, readers should be able to see how you drew the conclusions that the writer did. There's also MLA in-text citation. This enables readers to find detailed information and direct quotations from which the writer quoted, paraphrased, or summarized. This again facilitates checking and examination of provided information and is always paired with the correct MLA Works Cited entry. The in-text citation always refers to an entry on the Works Cited page. So MLA establishes a standardized format for citations. This format includes all the relevant data for a researcher to find and examine all sources used in a piece of research. And the standardized format makes sure that it's the same all across every work in the discipline so that everyone knows where to look for specific bits of information. For books, the standard format is relatively simple. We have the author last name, comma, the author first name, the title of the book in italics, the publisher, comma, then the year, period. In this slide, I have highlighted all the punctuation that is required in red. Here are some book examples. Hill, comma, Matthew, period. The War on Terror in American Popular Culture, period. Fairleigh Dickinson University Press, comma, 2009, period. McCarthy, comma, Cormac, The Road, period. Alfred A. Knopf, comma, 2007. Morrison, comma, Tony, that's the author's name. Beloved in italics, period. Random House, which is the publisher, comma, 1987, period. Journal articles are slightly more complicated, but we have many of the similar data points that come up in the citation. We have the author's last name, comma, then the author's first name, period. Title of the article in quotes, period, with a period at the end. The journal title in italics, followed by VOL, period, and then the journal volume number, comma, the journal issue number, comma, the date, comma, PP period, and the journal pages. Here's what they look like. Here's some examples. Vandelay, comma, Arthur, period, that's the author's name. Exposing the Human Fund is the journal title. Journal of Nonprofit Ethics, volume, VOL 32, number 3, fall 2003. pages 23 through 44. The Richard Slotkin, comma, Richard, Unit Pride, Ethnic Platoons, ... The Journal of American Culture, Volume 10, Number 1, September 2001, pages 123 to 135. Hill, comma, Matthew, I Am a Leaf on the Wind, Cultural Trauma and Mobility in Joss Whedon's Firefly. Again, that's a long title. Extrapolation, the journal title in italics, VOL period 50, so volume 50, number 2, 2009, page 222 to 254. Electronic sources. These are becoming more and more prevalent in research practices. So when you have to cite an entire website, we use the author's last name if we can find it or if it's applicable, or the author's first name if it's applicable. Sometimes that information is not available. Then we have the title of website in italics, the website's publisher or sponsor. Then we have the URL of the website, just www and the website title. You don't need the HTTPS or anything. That is assumed in MLA. And then the date you accessed it, if it's applicable. Here's some examples. For an entire website, we have Hill, comma, Matthew. That's the author of the website. Openwriting.org. That's the name of the websiting. The URL, www.openwriting.org. Accessed 29 September 2020. The Stark Foundation's website, sponsored, published by the Stark Foundation. starkfound.net. Accessed 18 January 2014. Titan University Department of Literature. Titan University is the publisher of the website. Titan.edu/lit is our URL, and accessed 30 June 2019. Now, when we're citing just part of a website, like an article on a website, like a blog posting, an article that's hosted, it looks a little bit more similar to a journal article. So we have the author last name, the author first name, which is almost always present in these, the article title in quotation marks, the title of the website in italics, period, the URL, and the date of access. So Griffin, comma, Clark, National Security in the Age of Disinformation. It appeared on NatSec Nation. NatSecNation.com, articles, Griff 2013-08-29, accessed 29 April 2018. Starling, Clarice M., Building the Perfect Profile. Again, it was on the website Social Media Psychology, smp.org/starling/perfectprofile.htm, accessed 1st January 2007. Films are pretty straightforward as well. So we have the title of the film in italics, period, DIR stands for director, and then we put the name of the director, period, perf, period, name of star 1, name of star 2, production company, and year of production. Now, we might not have the director's name or the production company. You can often use a resource like imdb.com, the Internet Movie Database, to look this stuff up. It's not too difficult to find this stuff on IMDb. Here's some film examples. Avatar, director James Cameron, performer Sam Worthington, Sigourney Weaver, put out by Universal Pictures, in 2009. Red Dawn, directed by John Milius, performers Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey, TriStar Pictures, 1984. And The Social Network, director David Fincher, performers Jesse Eisenberg, Justin Timberlake, Columbia Pictures, 2010. Now, the other side of citation is the in-text citation. Now, these in MLA are relatively straightforward. For a book, article, or other print source, we have the author's name and page number. So just the author and the page number, nothing between it, no P or anything. For a film, we have the title of the film in italics. And citations go outside the quote, but inside the sentence. So we keep it outside the quoted material that we're using, but inside the sentence that we're writing. Here are a couple of examples of film citations and in-text citations for print sources. James Joyce writes in Araby that for his narrator, Mangan's sister was a name, was like a summons to all my foolish blood. So our quote was like a summons to all my foolish blood, and this appeared on page 4 of James Joyce's text, but you'll notice it's still inside the sentence, but it's outside the quote. The question asked by the old Ryan at the end of Saving Private Ryan, tell me, have I lived a good life? Am I a good man? Simply ruined the film, overwhelming the viewer with ham-handed emotion. So we have a cite for a film, Saving Private Ryan, period. Again, the quote is here, have I been a good man? Am I a good man? And then the quote, the citation is at the end of the sentence. This could also be put right directly after the quote. This writer has elected to put it at the end of the sentence. So hopefully this quick tutorial might help you in navigating the basics of MLA Citation. For more information, you can also go to the OWL at Purdue, OWL at PURDUE, and that will give you some extra detailed guides. You can also look at the MLA Handbook for Writers of Research Papers, which is a very, very in-depth guide that indicates how to cite every conceivable type of source. So, thank you.